Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. For 6 decades, they've been doing great things for people living in San Diego County. We are so honored to be broadcasting from the San Diego Humane Society's headquarters here on Gaines Street, joined by one of my favorite guests, if not my favorite guest, Dr. Gary Weitzman. He's the president and CEO of the Humane Society. Gary, thanks for having us.
Oh, so good to have you here, really. And maybe we'll have some puppies go home with you.
I think that's great. Kristen is already in for 7. And she said
I'm pretty attached to this puppy right now.
And she'll take Hank the turtle as well, okay, as we do it. And I think, I'm not sure if Nina was telling me, Nina Thompson, you're just absolutely phenomenal PR director. I think, was there a boa constrictor? Did you tell me that? Or
a python.
Excuse me, python.
Yeah, 4 pounds.
We've got everything. We have, I think, about 60 red-eared sliders in here right now, too.
I know.
So if people are looking for them.
I'm telling you, I want a desert tortoise, not a slider. So if we can make that happen, I'll go out to East County. Yeah.
All right, very, very good. And Gary's joined by Heather Schneider. She is the wildlife, was it educational specialist or?
I'm the wildlife outreach
specialist. Very, very good. And she works very closely, I'm assuming, with Alexis Wohl, the wildlife rehabilitation veterinarian, who was just chatting with Gary about this. Gary, let's talk a little bit about something that is so important to you folks, and that is the adoptions. Maybe we can just jump right to that. There are a lot of animals that need to be adopted.
There are. This has really been a strange year. For probably the last 9 months, we've had about a 40% increase in dogs. So it's crazy. For years and years and years, we were overflowing with cats, but not dogs, and definitely not puppies. And that has completely turned on its head since September of last year. And not just San Diego Humane, but the entire country is like that right now. And we think there are a few reasons for it. We feel it really hardest here because our normal baseline number of animals on the companion side is about 30,000 a year. So when we have an increase or longer lengths of stay for those animals, we feel it really profoundly. So we're asking the community, please, 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 if you're thinking of bringing an animal into your home, if you even are considering even maybe for a temporary animal into your home, come to us. Come to other shelters in San Diego County. Go to rescues first. We love good breeders, but please, we need your help now.
Yeah.
You know, my friend, he fosters animals. And so,
excellent.
Right.
Yeah, excellent.
And do you offer that program here?
We do.
Too? Okay.
About 35% of our animals are currently in foster. We have about 1,800, 1,900 animals in care now.
Right.
That'll go up by probably at least 5% every single week until the end of the summer. So you can see by the time we hit August, we're probably close to 2,500 animals, almost 3,000 animals a day. So we do need fosters. So 35% are in foster. It's great. Fortunately, a lot of the animals that come in over the summer are kittens. Well, not fortunately, but fortunately if you're looking for a kitten.
Right.
But that's when the factory starts releasing all the kittens over the summer. So we have tons of kittens, and lots of them are in foster. But we do need the public's help for fostering. We really do. And we need the public's help for adopting, because we want some of our babies to get into homes.
Right. Well, Nina gave me a great little tour of all the places in the expanded area here. I mean, it was tough not to walk home with about 15 different types of animals, for God's sake. But then
we won't stop you.
Well, yeah, I tell you what would have stopped me. My 1-year-old golden named Jackson would have stopped me on the spot there. Heather Schneider, wildlife outreach specialist. Tell us what you do in your world.
Yeah, so I am the outreach specialist with Project Wildlife. So I go out and I do presentations to the public, whether it be to HOAs, community programs. I go to schools fairly often. I also do Girl Scout programs. info booths, all sorts of different opportunities where I can just go out and spread the word about Project Wildlife, when we should be intervening. My main goal is intake diversion. So making sure the patients that we do get through the door are those patients that truly do need to be there. So preventing those, what did you call them, kidnappings with good intentions.
Right.
So just letting people know when our wild patients truly do need to come get help from us.
Right. So as we were talking to, Dr. Alexis Wall about when they do come in, you make a quick assessment on whether they should go back out immediately. And can that happen too?
So that is something that does happen. So if we have a fledgling or something similar that comes in and we can take a look at them and the finder is willing, we'll have the medical team evaluate them quickly to make sure they're okay to come back, no hidden injuries, we can't see anything like that. And if the finders are willing, we do ask them to take the animal back to where they were found so that they can be out in the wild where they belong.
It's a question. I should have asked this of Dr. Wall, but I'll ask Heather since she's sitting here. So, in this background, obviously Dr. Wall's a veterinarian, so we know what she had to go through schooling and all that business. Gary, remind me to make sure we chat about the absolute shortage of veterinarians.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
That is at crisis point and all that. Heather, what got you interested in being Project Wildlife? You love animals. You have a background in it. Were you schooled in it? All of the above? None of the above?
Yeah, so I've known my entire life I wanted to work with animals. My mom's actually a vet tech, so I was raised around an animal-loving family. I went to college for a degree in zoology at Colorado State, and from there I knew I had a passion for local wildlife. The wildlife in Colorado is very similar to the wildlife we have here for the most part. So I actually was looking at wildlife rehabs in the entirety of the U.S. after I graduated, and I actually saw Project Wildlife and was like, that's where I want to be. Moved to San Diego and started at the Humane Society as an admissions counselor, and I kind of weaseled my way in eventually. So.
Amazing.
We were so lucky that she did. She is a find.
Yeah, no, I imagine so, and I think there's nothing great. As Gary knows my story, because I bore him to death every time I talk to him about this stuff, but he knows I grew up in an animal household. My mom lived in Canada, grew up in Saskatchewan, and raised 7 wild huskies. And then so we had everything from a cricket farm, we had guinea pigs, we had a snake, we had rabbits, we had dogs, and God knows what else we had. A tortoise, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so as Gary knows, it's just in my DNA to support all this stuff here. Kristen.
Yeah. Gary, let's talk about this beautiful remodeled adoption center that's reopened.
Yeah, thanks. And I hope you got a tour, or you will get a tour soon.
I was unbelievable.
I didn't, but hopefully soon.
We were waiting with bated breath for this thing to open. We started planning it about 5 years ago, and the actual construction started 2 years ago. And there were the normal delays, which really aren't delays. You should expect them. But we had to change the grand opening from sometime late last summer, Labor Day in 2023, to then maybe before Thanksgiving, and then right after Christmas, and then early February, and it finally happened mid-February. But it's so good things are worth waiting for, and this certainly was. The animals that we have in there have changed completely their behavior from when we've had them outside of that facility.
Wow.
So what we tried to do was actually make it completely fare-free, and everything is created so that it will actually decrease stress. Now, we can't do it perfectly. Decreased stress truly is when an animal's adopted and they go home. But here, we do the best we can in a shelter. So each of the little habitats for dogs, they're not too big, they're not too small, they're Goldilocks, they're just right.
Yeah.
Everybody has a veranda bed, 2 sections, one they can stay private, because it can be overwhelming having eyeballs on you every day, and one where they can interact with the public. But it's quiet in there. It's almost soundproof for each dog. You'll hear a bark every now and then, but not much. And some of the dogs actually, unfortunately, have been here since last year.
Wow.
So it's so good to see them in a place where people can see them better, and they can be stressed. They can be in there without stress. Same for our cats too. Now, interestingly enough, we don't have a lot of cats. That's never been the case at San Diego Humane before, but it is now.
Why is that?
Well, a few reasons. We do have a pretty strong community cat program right now, where we will take in cats and actually medically evaluate them, care for them if they need medical evaluation, medical care, spay and neuter them, vaccinate them, and then return them where they're found, but through the finder. Now, there are some cats that we know that have potentially been abandoned by their owners or have an owner. Those animals will either keep in care or will return to their owner. But our community cat program has severely decreased the number of cats that have had to be impounded at our facility. And it's good because for decades, what we were doing with community cats was taking them in and then keeping them here where people could not find them, and then adopting them out. This is a much better program. The cat numbers are going to go up, though, really fast. The kittens are coming. We already have well over, my last number, close. Thank you. Well over 1,000. Yes, we hit 1,000 yesterday. Just for the season. 1,000 kittens.
Oh my gosh.
That'll go up by 6-7-fold before the end of the season.
So where do you keep them?
Well, some of them are now in your car.
I did see something rattling around back there.
Surprise! Yeah.
We have a kitten nursery, the first in the United States, that opened in 2009. Now there are a few others, but this is the largest volume kitten nursery in the world. We also have a lot of our wonderful, generous fosters taking care of those 2-hour to 8-week-old kittens. So they're in people's homes, but they are everywhere. All of our campuses have nurseries everywhere. You can't avoid kittens once the season starts, and that's just about now. So please, if people are listening, 2 kittens is perfect for every family. Please come in and get some kittens.
Well, yeah, I have some friends that are kitten lovers, and one person's 18-year-old cat just passed away. Unfortunately, she's allergic to cats, and it was her husband's, and she said to take steroids for every single day for the last 11 years, so she's probably not going to be getting a cat.
Well, we got plenty of dogs if she wants to try that out.
No, that's not a bad idea. I might certainly mention that as well. We're chatting with Dr. Gary Weitzman. He is the President and CEO of the San Diego Humane Society, joined by his colleague, Heather Schneider, Wildlife Outreach Specialist as part of Project Wildlife. We heard from Dr. Alexis Wall earlier, joined by Kristen Fogel. She is the Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc. They're celebrating their 20th anniversary in Liberty Station this year. Now, do you have a lot of people that come in and take your seminars and do all the stuff that you do, Kristen, that are interested in writing books about animals, write poems about animals, or haikus about... you're amazed that I know what a haiku is, right? 575. Learned that when I was in 8th grade. Thank you very much. You know what I'm talking about when I say that?
Do.
Okay, good. You're as bad as me.
Does, but maybe they don't.
Exactly. A lot of animals writing.
I mean, certainly a lot of animal lovers for sure. And I mean, every once in a while people are writing about animals, but I really, can't stress enough that for creative types, especially that work at home, having an animal is so important and so nice. My dog Kismet I had forever and ever because I was a magazine editor working from home, and she really just got me through my job. So they can be really, really good companions for everybody. But I mean, for creatives especially that spend long hours just, by themselves, they're lifesavers.
Yeah, before I turn it back over to Heather, Gary, just talk about the importance. It sounds obvious, but getting your pet licensed and getting them checked in.
Please get your pets licensed. It is the law for dogs, not for cats. We don't really, there's not really a penalty if you don't do it, but we want people to do it. It really helps because if in any chance your dog may be lost, that license can be life-saving, as well as please, everybody get your animals, cats and dogs microchipped. It is absolutely the number one lifesaver that we can offer anyone. And we offer so many specials. Often we do it for free. Please come to any of our campuses, get your dogs and cats microchipped. Always wear a collar and tag for a dog.
Right.
Cats don't love that a whole lot. If you want to do what I do and take the collar off before you go to bed, if you know everything's secure in your house, that's okay. Put it back on in the morning. But collars and tags are really important. And also, please, spay and neuter. That's why we're in this jam right now. Spay and neuter your pets because we love dogs and cats, but we don't need more.
So let me ask you this. Is there a certain age? I heard at one point, all the dogs I had before we got, taken care of in their first 6 months, right? Yeah. But now I'm hearing it could be longer.
Yeah. There's a bit of controversy about that. I think what we've landed on, first of all, there's 2 different things. One is I'm going to say what it would be in an ideal situation. Get your dogs neutered at a year. If you're home and you have that dog and you're not letting that dog be a dog, get that dog neutered in a year. Get your cat neutered. Get your female the dog is spayed by 6 months so that they don't go into heat. Now, we aren't able to do that at San Diego Humane or any shelter in the state of California. We must spay and neuter before that animal's adopted. So that's why we do it so early. And there really aren't that many ill effects. But if you can wait for a year to neuter a dog, that's probably for the best.
Is there a year that you can go up to? So I have this 2.5-year-old dog that has gotten weaseled out of being neutered 3 times now.
Oh, boy.
And so
Okay.
his time is coming.
Would he run away?
Oh my God. The first time he had like a skin rash. The second time, like his rabies thing was like a week out where it was no longer good. The third time I scheduled it and then we were going out of town. And so I had to so his time is now. But I mean, is there an optimum time to
There
not
is.
go
I
up
think the younger
to?
the dog is, the easier the surgery is on that dog. So ideally, when they're under a year, it's an easier surgery on them. You know, the other thing too, and this is coming from the head of an animal shelter, you don't have to do it. I mean, if you're responsible and that dog's not procreating, that's all we ask.
Yeah.
There are some health benefits to getting it done. So if you're thinking of doing it, probably now is the best time. You know, they don't get prostate problems as much. They probably won't get one at all. Obviously, testicular cancer can't happen if you don't have the means to develop the cancer. So those are good things. If there's behavior issues, definitely think about neutering. And just in general, your dog's still young. It's probably still a good time to do it. Might be good to do it in combination with a dental because the dog will be under.
Oh, yeah. That's a good
But
suggestion.
if you're responsible, I don't condemn anybody that doesn't do it. Just don't let your dog breed.
Yeah.
And don't let your dog have a behavioral issue that neutering might help.
Yeah.
So Jackson just turned 1. Okay. So we have not had him fixed yet. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Okay.
So and you just do it with your regular vet or?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the place to do it. Okay.
Definitely a place to do it. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And probably should that's a good idea. Get the teeth cleaned while they're doing
Yeah, I
it.
like
That's a
that.
heck of an
May
idea.
not need it. Your dog's golden, and
Yes,
a bigger
yeah.
dog may not need to have his teeth cleaned just yet. But if he does, it's not a bad time.
He's a lummox. I'll just tell you that right now, and so forth. Heather, and I always love asking this question on almost all of our shows because one of the things we're heavily interested in is, and one of our guests earlier today was talking about it, was workforce development and people that want to get in different career tracks and all that. So if somebody said, Heather, tell me why I should get in the field you're in. What is so good about this? What would you tell them?
So, for clarification, are we talking about wildlife rehab in general or just outreach?
Outreach, but with wildlife.
Okay. So, outreach is extremely important. A lot of people like the myth with the birds and all of these things. We hear so many things about wildlife that may not be true. So getting into this field and being able to educate not only the youth, but also adults is extremely inspiring and not only helps them learn and grow as people, but it will also help our wild neighbors as well. So I think it's an extremely important field to be in. Also, like I said, every time I go do a program, if one person learns to wait and watch, that's a success to me because that could potentially be 5 patients throughout that person's life that doesn't come into care, and that adds up over time. So it's also just helping the wild animals be where they're meant to be out in the wild, living the life that they're meant to live and using those natural instincts that they have.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Okay.
Oh,
you know what
I
you
love
do?
that.
No, it's easy. You could ask Alexis. It's a very easy interview. Actually, I'm going to do it when I come back from break, okay? We're going to get back to chatting with Heather Schneider. She's the Wildlife Outreach Specialist for Project Wildlife, a part of the San Diego Humane Society, joined by her colleague, the President and CEO of the Humane Society, Dr. Gary Weitzman. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 60 years, doing great things in San Diego County. We are broadcasting in this very cool San Diego Humane Society headquarters on Gain Street, and we will be right back. We're right back. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and you've been listening to an edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast. And we're brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 6 decades of doing great things in San Diego County, joined by Dr. Gary Weitzman, President and CEO of the San Diego Humane Society, and his colleague Heather Schneider, Wildlife Outreach Specialist for Project Wildlife, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She is the Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc., been doing this for quite a while, and they're celebrating their 20th anniversary. Okay, so I know you've been waiting for this question, Heather. We'll see how you answer this. I think you'll answer it just fine.
This sounds terrifying.
It does.
That's right. Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
My gosh.
Grant is. No, how would you consider, Gary knows a question I'm going to ask because I ask him this almost every time, San Diego as a animal-friendly community as a whole?
Okay.
Are we good at this? Are we better than other places because of all the resources? Talk about that.
Yeah, so I think San Diego is an amazing place to live as an animal lover. I always tell people it's rare to live in a place that aligns so often with my own thoughts and beliefs when it comes to animal welfare. I've lived in quite a few places as well, and just the resources available are night and day. My family lives in Houston currently, and if they have wildlife questions, they don't have a lot of places they can reach out to out there that they're aware of. So having Project Wildlife and having San Diego Humane Society here in the community is so amazing. And just the public and the community being willing to bring us these animals and just the level of care and compassion we see, it's amazing. I think this is, I would say, one of the best places in the world to live if you're an animal lover.
Yeah, and I think we get this all the time. Gary and I talk about it all the time, and it's really important. And we're just at awe of all the work that comes out of this Humane Society.
Yeah.
Gary's always very magnanimous. As you know, you get to work with him and sharing the credit. Never takes credit of himself. Always shares with the great people that are working at the Humane Society, but also, the partners. Gary, maybe you can talk a little bit about that. I know Kristen has a question for you on the Society's Day of Giving, but talk a little bit about the partners and your collaboration with almost everybody.
Well, we try to. I mean, there's no question, no one organization can take care of the problem by itself. And so we got a great coalition here in San Diego of partners in our San Diego Animal Welfare Coalition, to be redundant. That is the name of it. And so it's all the shelters in our county, for the most part, not all of them, but Rancho Coastal and Chula Vista Animal Services and Coronado and Friends of Cats and Frosted Faces. And I don't want to miss anybody now that I started down the. Oh, and then, of course, our great partner, San Diego County Animal Services. I do think that caught everybody. And we've also included Imperial County because 100 miles east of us is a county that doesn't have partners. So we work with the Humane Society of Imperial County as well. It's really important. We can't do this work alone, and we need to work with each other. It's fantastic. For instance, if one of the shelters in the county, not San Diego Humane, has animals that have been with them for 6 months, that adopter pool in that area has already seen that animal over and over and over again. Maybe we can exchange. Maybe we have a dog that's been here for 6 months or 8 months, and we can send that dog to Rancho Coastal and switch out the eyes that are on that animal. So sometimes that helps. We help with resources with each other. It's a collective effort. It truly takes a village to do anything right. So we believe that.
Well, and listen, and people who are coming into San Diego that are animal lovers, and is this a good place for me to bring my animals? Some have more than one, of course, and so forth. I think it's important to know that they're going to be well taken care of because the chops are here.
Yeah.
Kristen.
Yeah, let's talk about San Diego Humane Society's Day of Giving, if you would.
Yeah, that's every end of every June, the last Thursday of June. This year it's June 27th. And our goal is to raise over $900,000 on the campaign, which really has already started, and it culminates on that day. If you want to donate the day after, it's okay. We won't return your check. It's fine. But it's really important. It really is the end of our fiscal year. It's the mark from which we launch all of our services for the entire rest of the year going into 2025. It's really, really important. And we just want the public to participate and donate if you can. Again, foster and adopt if you want to do that. You can do them both. But we really do rely on donations to come up to the Day of Giving at June 27th. We used to do a telethon, but we stopped doing that years ago.
I was on it a couple times.
Yeah, you were there, Drew. You were there many times.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is really in place of that, and it's been getting bigger and bigger every year, and we are just really grateful to the support that this community gives us.
Yeah. Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you to shout out Furball. It's just an unbelievable event. If you haven't been there, you need to go to it. Unfortunately, I missed last year's. I was out of town, whatever. Hopefully, I'll be invited back this year.
You can't miss this year. We're going to take you off the list.
Oh, okay. No. That's a good enough threat to do it. You have a date set up?
Yeah, we do. It's October 5th this year. So it's always in our back parking lot. That sounds terrible. If you haven't been to the Fur Ball, you might think, why do I want to go to the back parking lot of an animal shelter? It is glorious. Jeffrey Strauss from Pamplemousse has been our chef for the Fur Ball for easily the last 15, even 20 years. He is in it. He's generous. He's absolutely supportive. He's the best friend you could have in the culinary world, helping us with the Fur Ball. And we have about 600 to 700 people and about 200 to 300 dogs. Sometimes a cat, every now and then a goat. It's just magnificent. The whole parking lot is bedecked with chandeliers, and it is a great time. I am someone who really does not want to get invitations to galas because they're difficult, but this one is so much fun. You cannot be in. You do not want to leave early. It's a great event.
Well, I'm going to speak from experience because I've been honored to be there quite a few times, and you can't help but walk away smiling. The fact that in some cases the animals are dressed up better than their owners.
Amazing.
That's not necessarily true because the owners are all dressed to the nines as well. You might remember when we brought, I'm pretty sure you were there, when we brought Jesse dressed up in a top hat.
Yes. Yeah.
I saw the pictures of that. That was pretty
man.
good.
Kidding me. Jesse was, that was amazing. People came, how is he keeping that hat on, for God's sake, over here? And he did.
You're like the drugs.
No, you know what?
Kidding.
We couldn't, no. Normally you would say with Jesse, because,
My dogs would never, ever do that. So you're lucky.
Well, Jackson is a little too young to go to the Fur Ball.
Oh, he is?
He would be. No, you'd say, Drew, you're never invited again. Or actually, Jackson, you're invited, but Drew is not. He's pretty active. We'll see if he's calmed down between now and October, but I don't think so. He's only one, so that's crazy.
But I think tickets go on sale next week,
and it'll sell out, folks.
It will.
It'll sell out. Get them early, and it's just an event that no matter how we're describing it over the air here, it's nothing like being there in person.
Right.
Heather, any comments again how we can support what you're doing at Project Wildlife? I know Alexis offered some of those ideas too.
Yeah, so I know Dr. Wall mentioned volunteering and donating, but the way I always like to say you can support Project Wildlife in addition to those is just spreading information about wildlife, how we can peacefully coexist with wildlife. On our website, sdhumane.org, we have coexisting articles. So if you do have wildlife in your backyard that you want to learn more about, we have that resource available. And if you ever do come across wildlife, you're not sure if it needs to come in, if it needs help or not, we also now have our Wildlife Help Hub online as well at, I believe, sdhumane.org/help hub. Correct. Okay. And so you can go through that form and see if the animal needs to come to us.
No, that's great advice. Gary, I always ask you to have the final word. What can we do?
Well, I was going to put a pitch in for rattlesnakes because we're thickly in rattlesnake season.
I live in rattlesnake heaven.
Don't kill them, please. If you have one around your house, call us. We really can't relocate them unless they're actually impinging on your house and getting into your house. But we can help you with it. But there are so many. We can send officers. We can help you if there's any danger. That's when we can be there. So, but don't kill rattlesnakes. They live here with us.
Yeah.
How long would it take you to get out? Seriously, because they're all over Los Penasquitos Canyon.
They are.
No, and they should be there. That's
if they're not within your property confines, we can't do anything.
Right.
But if they are, it probably would take us, I don't know, anywhere. It's not a priority one necessarily unless they're actually threatening you or your family or your pets, but within an hour.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good. That's great advice. And they just call the Humane Society, or is there a special line on the Humane Society?
Nope, just our normal line.
Okay. Very, very good. Always good to see you, Gary.
You too,
Heather, what a pleasure meeting you. And Gary, can't thank you and Nina Thompson, your phenomenal PR director, for teeing this up with us. I know Brandon, our producer, had a big smile on his face, and Kristen is going to be working here in the Humane Society.
I can't get over this dog. It
depends on if she takes those puppies home with her.
Gosh.
Yeah,
that's right. I was trying to get her.
Tempted.
I want her to take home Hank. Hank was a very cool turtle.
Oh, no.
Again, just wishing you nothing but great success moving forward.
Oh, thank you.
You bet. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, broadcasting from these beautiful San Diego Humane Society offices and headquarters, and got a chance to hold some puppies and talk to turtles and everything in between. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.